Our first speaker is a Vietnam veteran who served on submarines. He's worked for over 30 years as a nuclear engineer, but he says most importantly, he's a father. He's a grandfather and a husband who's been blessed for over 42 years with a wonderful and loving wife. He's also been called to further God's service to his people through being a permanent deacon at the Holy Family Catholic Church. Let's please welcome Deacon John Duffield. Deacon.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'd like to start with a story that I heard in Cary, Ohio by Father David Ross. I'm going to use it in a little bit different way, but it's a good story, I think. It helps us get started. On a Sunday afternoon in a city in California, a mother was driving her 5-year-old boy home from preschool. As they stopped at a red light, a Cadillac convertible pulled up beside them. It was driven by a young blonde woman without a stitch of clothes on, completely naked. The little boy excitedly yelled at his mother, "Mommy, Mommy, look! She's not wearing her seatbelt." Sometimes all it takes is a good, moral person, like this innocent little boy, to see past the distractions and identify the problem that's making our life more dangerous. That is what we're doing here today when we stand up against this HHS mandate. The mandate is not about contraception. That's only the naked woman in the convertible. It's a distraction. True, it's against our Catholic teaching, but it's only a distraction. The HHS mandate is an attempt to end our religious freedom. Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius announced this mandate directly at Catholic organizations in February. Since then, 43 Catholic organizations around the country, including dioceses, charitable organizations, hospitals, and universities, have filed lawsuits against this administration on the grounds of religious liberty. Bishops from every diocese in the United States have spoken out against this mandate, warning that it poses a serious threat to our religious liberty that is guaranteed by our First Amendment, and that this mandate could force such organizations to shut down. It's a wonderful to see so many church leaders that are from all these different Christian denominations that are joining together to speak out against the mandate and to help people recognize the violation of our religious freedoms that it's trying to take place. As Christians, we should be doing the same thing. Even if it makes us unpopular, we should be bringing others to the good news. If we become living martyrs because we're being persecuted, bullied, or threatened by special interest groups or by our own governmental officials, then so be it. We do it for the Lord, and we will prevail. Throughout more than 2,000 years of Christianity, there's been a rise and fall of many governments, but the Church of Christ's faithful believers is still here. We are still here, but what are we doing in our daily lives that shows that faith that we profess every Sunday? We need to get to the voting booths and cause another government that is rising up against us to fall. The Obama administration thinks that we're bluffing. And why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they when many of us have voted them into office, even though they are running on well-publicized pro-abortion platforms? If Christianity was a crime, would there be proof to convict any one of us if they submitted our voting records as evidence? I'm not talking about which political party that we vote for. There's usually very little difference between the two. What I'm talking about is the serious decisions we make when we enter the voting booth, or through writing letters to our elected representatives that we demand the protection of life from conception to natural death. Are we living the faith that we profess? In a new survey, it shows that while more and more Americans are opposed to this mandate, over 51% find it unlikely that Catholic organizations would actually shut down rather than to pay for abortion-inducing drugs, sterilizations, and contraceptions. This indicates that our neighbors do not believe that we are convicted to put our faith to the test. They think that we only live our faith if it's comfortable to do so. No matter how this mandate turns out, we need to change that perception. We have watched our government legalize the killing of innocent babies who are our silent, unseen neighbors. We now see them trying to kill our freedom to live according to our faith. We have the power to stop them, and we must use that power. But with power comes responsibility. We cannot pretend that we will not be judged on how we live, or that we will not be held responsible for how we vote. Especially when our vote, or refusing to vote, empowers our government to harm others. Let me end with a reading from the prophet Ezekiel. Here God is speaking to each and every one of us. I have appointed you as a sentinel for the house of Israel. When you hear a word from my mouth, you must warn them for me. When I say to the wicked, you must die, and you do not speak up to warn the wicked about their ways, they shall die for their sins, but I will hold you responsible for their blood. If, however, you warn the wicked to turn away from their ways, but they do not, then they shall die for their sins, but you shall have saved your life. I have no doubt that everyone here present is putting their lives and reputations on the line to stop this assault on our religious liberty. Our freedom comes from our Creator, not our government. All government can do is take our freedoms away, which they're trying to do right now. Now is the time for us to help others recognize this violation of our religious liberty. If we allow our government to take away the liberty that we have in worship, there is no freedom safe from their tyranny. Thank you.